When is a good time to reach out to a mortgage professional if someone either gone through bankruptcy or is in bankruptcy or had some kind of financial problem?
Anytime that person is thinking, I think I want to buy a house someday again,
Okay.
whenever that is, even if they're right in the middle of it,
Okay.
we could see where we are. But I always want to put a plan in place for my clients.
Right.
I want to meet with them in person. I want to go over what their comfortable monthly payment is.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do they have saved now?
Mm-hmm.
Would we need down payment assistance, and what does it take to get to there? Because if we establish here's where we are right now,
Mm-hmm.
then we know what we need to do going forward to reach that goal and
Mm-hmm.
how long that's going to take us. Do we think we're in the middle of a bankruptcy? Oh, we're not going to buy for another year anyway. Okay.
Right.
Well, let's meet now though and find out where you want to be with payment, so we can figure out what does that buy you, so you know where you're even going to look and how much you need to save.
Okay.
There's a lot of pieces to that.
Yeah.
And I want to give people the tools to move forward so that they can be successful when that time comes.
Right. Well, I think that's a lot of what people underestimate is the value of the planning that can go into something like this. Because I get people who come 3 or 4 years later and they didn't do any rebuilding and they didn't talk to someone and they're like, oh, we want to buy a house now, go to pull their credit. It's still kind of iffy, and there's things that they could have been doing all along with good planning.
Right. So say they just finished their Chapter 7, it's all discharged, and they really don't have any established credit.
Right.
They would need to get a small credit card. That's the best way to start, right? A secured card.
A secured card, yeah.
Secured card is really the best way to get started on that. And within 4 or 5 months, you see an increase.
Yep.
It doesn't take too long. So then after you've had that for a year, you've probably got a pretty good solid FICO score, and you've got a new year of history that you've done. But if you're not taking the time to meet prior,
and
right, at the beginning when you think you want to buy, it doesn't mean you're going to in a year or two, but if you're just thinking about it, it doesn't hurt to sit down and have that conversation so you have that plan.
Well, and being educated on things is all financial related stuff I'm finding is very helpful for people to not make similar mistakes or not make the mistakes people get by going and Googling for. So talking to professionals is usually the best way to get that plan in place.
And honestly, talking with the right professional. It does really matter. I had a young lady I met with a year ago, and she had spoken with someone to put the plan in place, and they told her she needed to open a credit card. But they didn't tell her how many. They said open credit cards. You need debt, or you need you need to reestablish, right, to build your credit back up. Well, unfortunately, she didn't stop herself, and she went out and opened 20 credit cards. Lots of little tiny, right? But they add up.
Yeah.
But they add up. So maybe that person needed to be a little bit more specific.
More specific.
Open 2 cards.